underground, hidden culture that has been around since, if not well before the 70s to now.
The approval for us means that we can now compete with other clubs as a viable alternative.
The club is in the middle of an industrial estate in inner city Brisbane. Earlier this year, the City Council threatened to shut it down because the building was zoned inappropriately. But Mr and Mrs Horn lodged a rezoning application.
We did have objections from the moral right, but the tone of the objection was about suggesting that child molesters come here and that sort of thing, which is, who would ever know, frankly? I'm not going to say they don't, because, how do you know your co-workers aren't child molesters?
Councillor Helen Abraham says the majority of submissions in the planning application were in favour of the application, and the building has been rezoned as a nightclub, which she says is the most appropriate category the council had. She says the council had to consider the application purely as a zoning decision.
Council cannot consider the moral aspects of this application, and in fact the condition of development clearly states that this is only for the purpose of the building. It does not comment on the legality of whether a swingers club is lawful under state legislation.
As for state legislation, it's believed the Queensland Government has no regulations governing swingers venues. The Queensland Adult Business Association, which is the representative body for brothels, says it's ironic that a swingers club can operate freely while the state's brothels are subject to the toughest regulations in the country. President Yvette Skinner.
Patrons that go to those premises would like to feel safe when they enter and know that there are good business practices occurring on the venue. And it's very disappointing that the government hasn't gone through with guidelines for sex on premises venues.
But Lisa Horn says swinging isn't just about sex and doesn't hurt anyone.
Before, most swingers clubs and all that sort of thing hide behind a blank wall and no sign. So now there'll be signs. We'll be proud of what we've achieved.